I know you've probably heard either me or some other trading coach somewhere in your career, someone on a podcast, someone on a YouTube video, someone has told you before that you should be following a trading plan, but you probably don't know exactly what that means because everybody likes to throw that buzzword around, trading plan. Well, I guess it's 2 words. They like to throw that buzz term around, but no one really dives deep into what actually goes into a trading plan. So today, I figured, let me just share with you what I use as my daily trading plan. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Austin Silver. I'm the co-owner and head of trading here at ASFX. I appreciate you being here, checking out my trading feed. If you find any value, just do me a favor. All I ask is a thumbs up and a subscribe. The thumbs up helps us reach other traders in the community to spread this value, and the subscribe helps you so you don't miss any future videos. Let's start first with why I have this plan. This plan is what I treat as my business plan when I show up to the trading desk. These are the rules and the systems. These are the processes that I have to follow if I want to be respectful to my business that I've put 5 years of work into, that Riley and I now count on for income. If I want to be respectful to that, I need to follow this plan. So that's why I read it to myself still to this day every single morning. The reason I start my plan with my why is because this is what everything is grounded in. Now, most people think their why is attached to either something material or some type of experience, but what we find, and Riley's been doing a lot of work with individual traders in our group on one-on-one calls, where she's like kind of coaching them through the psychological aspect of finding their true why, because once you know it and you can tap in, everything changes. You have a whole different respect for yourself and the things that you have to do on a daily basis to reach the dreams and goals that you want. So the why isn't a material thing, it isn't an experience, it's who you are. So for me, my why, I picked 3 of my strengths, is that I'm a high achiever, I'm an encourager, and I'm an educator. So the high achiever, as you can see, I have it written, I want to push myself to grow every single day. Trading is hard, so to stay consistently good at it is difficult, and it consistently challenges me every single day when I show up to the desk. I have to change my biases, I have to be consistently flexible, I have to be willing to learn new ideas. Those are the things that I know I can overcome, and because I know I can overcome them, it feeds the high achiever in me. I'm an encourager. That's another thing that feeds who I am, why I'm here. I want to encourage people to live the vision that they see in their mind. I think that if I can do it, so can you. So I show up every day to coach traders, not just to trade my own money, because I'm an encourager. And that ties into the third one. I'm an educator. I like sharing the knowledge that I have with other people to shorten their learning curve in and out of trading. That's who I am. So when I remind myself of why I'm here every morning, as I say at the bottom, playing into these key strengths has allowed me to find and sustain financial independence, and now doubling down on them is what's really allowed our business and other businesses now to exponentially grow. So it's knowing why I'm here, being really tapped into not just these 3 strengths, but all of my strengths, and letting that drive and motivate me because that's who I am at my core. The second piece of my trading plan is what a common question that you'll hear seasoned traders ask themselves. It's, what is my winning approach? So let me delete this box here. What I like to do to answer that question is just simply say this. I don't need to trade. I'm not my trading. I'm Austin, and I make a positive impact on the people in my physical space and with my digital presence on social media. My approach to trading can be surmised in understanding that when I push on the market, I get punched in the face. But when I let the market come to me, when I let my trades present to me, I trade without sweaty armpits. Now that's funny, but you probably know what I'm talking about when you've been in trades and you start sweating, or you bite your lip, or you pick your nails. You do that nervous, stressful tick because it's not the trade you're supposed to be in. But when I follow this winning approach and I let those trades come to me, no sweaty pits. So it's a good question to follow up the why. Now I'm tapped in on my why. Now how am I gonna use the why, the motivator, to reach that level of success? It's by following this winning approach. Now, to get into the hard details of my trading a little bit more here, my soft milestones for the day. This is something that people ask me all the time. For me, it's 3%. Now that's 3% profit or 3% loss. So as you can see, if I cross more than a 3% gain, I don't look to take anything less than an A setup for the rest of that day. And more often than not, I'm just gonna focus on managing the position that gave me that 3+% gain, and I'm gonna manage that through the rest of the day, maybe even into the next day or 2 as well. But Normally, it's going to be that one trade, managed to that 3% gain or more, and that's going to be it for the day. That one and done mentality has really been successful for me. And now for my losses, if I go down 3%, whether it's between one trade or two trades, whatever it is, that's when I walk away from the desk. If I lose 3% or a little bit more than that, 3.5% has been my biggest down day so far this year, I walk away. Just step off and walk off. That's it. And then I can come back tomorrow and I know I can crush a trade for 4 or 5%, cover that, and I'm back on top. So for me, having these soft milestones, I don't need to go get 3%. I don't need to lose 3%. I could stop it when I'm down 1%, just stop for the day if there's nothing else. I could also stop at 2% for the day. These are soft milestones, but they do give me an idea of when I should stop pressing on the gas, because I think a lot of us as traders have stayed at the desk too long and it causes us to give back profits. Drop a comment down below if you've done that. I know I have. The next section is really important too. What are my objectives? To me, my objective is to trade well with a process-focused approach. The rules that I follow and how well I follow them is much more important to me than the outcome of any one individual trade. If I follow my rules, I did well. It's that simple. If I break my rules, I'm building bad habits and I'm not matching my actions to my words. And that's like my biggest pet peeve. Really, simply put, the objective every day for me and our traders in our group is to follow the ASFX processes, which means following the checklists of the A1, the D1, and the D2 systems. And one thing I always want to remind myself here in the objective section is that I can't judge myself at the end of the day on the outcomes of my trades. If I attach my value as a human being to my performance as a trader, it's very self-defeating. It's not the right way to live your life. So I don't try to judge myself on the things I can't control. Instead, I'd rather judge myself on how well did you follow those tested and proven rules that you know will make you money. You followed them well? Great, good job. You lost a trade, so what? We come back from that. If you break the rules though, you're building bad habits. It's gonna be a dark and bumpy road that you're going down that way. So it's better for me to stay focused on my objectives, being process focused, process driven, rather than results focused, results driven. The time frames that I trade and the setups that I trade and my pre-market routine are really, really common questions, so I want to detail them here. The time frames that I trade, I'm always on the 15 minute. So I remind myself that when I read this in the morning, start on the 15 minute because this is where I look to analyze and monitor my trades for the day. If I find a 15-minute setup that I like, that fits the trend that I'm looking for, then I go to the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily, and I try to line that up with what I'm seeing on the TDI. Once I start to get some confluence of indicators, then I know that I might be finding a trade that I want to get involved with. So it always starts on the 15 minute, and here in my trading plan, I remind myself of that every morning. The setups that I trade, I kind of just said this to you a second ago, I'm looking for the A1, the D1, and the D2. Those are my 3 trades. Any other ideas that I think I have, they're either a demo account or they're just an idea that I mark up and I come back and look at it later. Nothing else gets any money. Now, Riley kind of ripped me up a little bit here. She said, why did you say I want to avoid C setups? You either avoid them or you don't. When we get to the bottom of this and I show you how I grade my setups, often I will say, look, that's a C setup and I don't need to trade it, but sometimes there are C setups that are worth a little bit of risk because of the potential reward, because it's, 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1. So yeah, it's not a great setup, but you still might want to put a little money into it because it could be such a great winner if it does work. So that's why I write it the way I do. I want to avoid C setups for the most part, focusing on those perfect A and B trades because they're more probable. That's where the money's going to be. And my pre-market routine. Very short and sweet. Coffee, wake up the group chat, read over this plan, and then start scanning the watch list. That's how I do it every morning. I don't meditate, I don't jump in a pool, nothing like that. Maybe when I move to Florida in a couple of months, I'll go stand out on the balcony for a few minutes and take in the warm sunshine and the warm Florida air, and then I'll get to the chart. But other than that, I like to just jump right in. Talking also about my post-market routine, there's a couple things I always hold myself accountable to, and the plan reminds me. I want to come back and review the entire day. Winners, losers, trade ideas, non-ideas, the whole day to see what I could have missed. But I want to do it after the fact so it's consistent behind my system. So I can see, hey, there was an entry here, we missed it. Oh, there was an entry here, we saw it, but we didn't take it because we didn't like it. I want to make sure we regroup. So actually what we do at 4 o'clock Eastern time-ish is we do a Facebook Live call for all of our VIP members. And you get in the VIP just by taking the courses. So we get on together as a team, all 300, whatever, how many people we have now, it's amazing. We all get on every day, people ask questions, and I give them feedback on the trades from that day or the trade ideas. And after that, I will always make sure I'm spending time with Riley and the cats, spending time taking care of myself. I got my medicine ball here, even on quarantine, trying to stay fit, trying to work out a little bit, right? Those things off the charts are so important, right? You don't want to hear me say that. You want to hear me tell you the indicator that you need to use to go make $1 million. But in reality, once you have a system like ours, this stuff off the chart, the psychology, the reading you do after trading, it matters even more because you've got to keep this in check if you want the numbers and the math to come out of the machine for you the right way. The last thing I'm going to share with you here before we skip over a section is my trading commandments. These are my 10 rules. Number 1, don't lose money. Number 2, don't forget rule number 1, like Fight Club, right? Number 3, focus on the week, not the day. You lose money 1 day, 2 days, it doesn't matter. You have a whole week, you have a whole month. You got to keep that in mind. Number 4, never stray from the parameters of my checklist. That breaks your edge. Number 5, trust the TDI because it never lies, man. Number 6, make losses quick because I can survive a cut but not a gunshot to the face. Number 7, don't chase losses, just focus on the next one good trade. Number 8, and this is what Riley was hitting me with. It's yes or it's no. It's binary. Do you trade C setups? Do you not trade C setups? Keep your trading decisions binary. Number 9, don't push on the market unless you want to get punched in the fucking face. Damn it, I cursed again. And number 10, don't forget rule number 1. Now, I'm going to skip over my entry rules, my stop loss rules. I do reserve that information for people who take our course. But I want to show you my exit rules because I've talked with you guys about this before. I grade my setups A, B, or C depending on how they fit the checklists in our entry and exit rules that we detail. A setups, 50% of that is closed at 2R. In the bag, stop losses move to break even so I can't lose, and I manage by my R multiple from there. B setups, I'm just closing them a little bit sooner, moving the stop a little sooner. Same thing for C setups. At 1R, I'm closing 50% and moving the stop. Now here, I have my must follow exit rules, right? We want to make sure we're managing as R multiples, not just as pips on a trade. You want to okay, I'm risking 10, I'm up 20, I'm up 2R. Okay, I can take a little bit off here. Up 30 with that 10 pip risk, 3R. You want to always be thinking in R multiples. And then again, a couple of exit savers here. That 21 EMA rule is very, very solid if you're a short-term trader. If it breaks that 21 with 2 or more bars, that's a sign the trend is done. We can find a better entry maybe later, but for now, it's better to be done. So these are just some must-follow rules that I keep there at the bottom. And the final page is my grading rules, my risk management. So above, we were talking about the trade management, how you manage the trade. That's one piece of what people call risk management, but that's really trade management. Risk management itself is how you grade the trade. Now notice at the top, I'm willing to piece in any of these entries if I feel that I might miss a move. And I can add in the rest of that risk if I am right and it starts to move without me when I get those other confirmations. So for me, A setups on Euro, GBP, or USD pairs are gonna get 3% max. NZD, AUD, or CAD pairs, they're gonna get 2%. The reason for that, the reason I separate that is because I don't find as much success with my systems in those pairs. So I'm not gonna trade them as heavy. The pairs that win the most for me have the most volume. Euros, GBPs, USDs, and a little bit of that JPY on the back end. B setups, 2%, C setups, 1%. And if you're off on an NZD USD, it gets 0.5% on a C setup. But sometimes those 0.5% trades still go 4R. And you could still, pull 2% on that. And that's a great trade. So you still can use the C setup grade to be involved in some of the positions. But this is my entire plan. All 7 pages of it. Like I said, except the entry and exits, because I want to keep that information for the people who pay for it. So if you want to find out more information on those entries and exits to complete this plan, there are links down below. I hope that you guys who are in our VIP, I hope this video kind of motivates you a little bit to maybe adjust your plan, maybe take some steps in following those rules a little bit more. And if you're not on our team already, I'm hoping that this doesn't necessarily motivate you to come on our team, but just motivates you to go find those rules, to find a system that you can put 7 pages of text to feel good about, print it out, follow it, and know that it's going to make you money. So I hope this motivates you. I hope it educates you. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys always very, very much. Subscribe, thumbs up if you found some value, and I'll see you in the next trade video.